Feeling that fear creeping in? You know, that knot in your stomach, that voice whispering doubts? Matthew chapter 8, verse 26 has a classic Jesus line. "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" It's like, ouch, but true. We've all been there, letting fear call the shots, letting it hold us back from the amazing life God has planned for us. But here's the thing. Fear doesn't get the last word. We weren't created to live in fear. We were made to live in faith. So let's break down how to face fear with faith and step into the victory God has waiting for us. You see, fear loves to play director in our lives. It wants to tell us where to go, what to do, what to avoid. It sets limitations and whispers doubts. But here's the thing. When we give fear that leading role, we miss out on God's best plans for us. It's like handing the steering wheel of your life to someone who's only got their eyes on the rearview mirror. You'll never see the amazing scenery ahead. Think about it. Fear tells you to play it safe, to stay small, to avoid risks. But God whispers about abundance, about stepping out in faith, about discovering the incredible potential He's placed within you. Who are you going to listen to? The voice of fear that limits you, or the voice of God that empowers you? This isn't about ignoring those feelings of fear. It's about recognizing that fear doesn't get to be in charge. We don't have to let it dictate our decisions or steal our joy. You see, when we let fear control us, we're essentially saying we don't trust that God has our best interests at heart. We're saying we know better than the one who crafted the universe and holds our lives in His hands. But God is a good Father, and He wouldn't lead us astray. He wants us to experience the fullness of life He has for us, a life bursting with purpose, joy, and victory. And that life? It begins the moment we choose faith over fear. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Joel, that's easier said than done. Fear feels so real, so present. And you're right, fear can be a powerful emotion. But you know what's even more powerful? God's love for you. And that love casts out all fear. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Did you catch that? God Himself is telling us, relax, I've got this. He's not just offering a suggestion, He's making a promise. Trusting God isn't about ignoring our problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting our focus from the problem to the problem solver. It's about saying, God, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust that you do. And when we surrender our worries and anxieties to Him, something incredible happens. Peace washes over us, a peace that surpasses all understanding. Think about it. Would a loving father hand his child a gift he knew would harm them? Of course not. And in the same way, our Heavenly Father wouldn't allow anything into our lives that wasn't ultimately for our good. Even when things are tough, even when we don't understand, He's working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail according to His perfect plan. So, when fear starts to creep in, remind yourself of God's promise. I am with you. Let those words wash over you, calming your heart and strengthening your spirit. Because when God is with us, we have nothing to fear. Chapter 3. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself walking through a dark and scary valley. Everything around you seems uncertain and maybe even a little bit threatening. Fear whispers, "Turn back! It's too dangerous!" But then you hear another voice, a voice filled with love and strength, saying, "Don't be afraid, my child. I am with you." You open your eyes, and standing beside you is Jesus, His hand outstretched. He's not afraid of the darkness, and He's not leaving your side. How does that make you feel? Safe? Protected? Loved? That's the power of focusing on God's presence. Psalm 23 verse 4 reminds us, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." When we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, when we remember that He's right there with us through every challenge, fear loses its grip. It shrinks in the presence of His love and power. Think of it this way. You wouldn't be afraid to walk through that dark valley with a team of Navy SEALs by your side, would you? You'd feel safe and secure, knowing that no matter what came your way, You had the best protection possible. Well, guess what? We have something even better than Navy SEALs. We have the God of the universe, the creator of all things, walking with us every step of the way. So, the next time fear tries to overshadow you, shift your focus. Don't dwell on the darkness. Fix your eyes on the light of God's presence. Remember His promise. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He is your constant companion, your protector, your guide, and in His presence, fear has no power. Chapter 4. Now, here's the exciting part. Faith isn't passive, it's active. It's not about sitting back and hoping for the best. It's about taking action, even when we're afraid. You see, faith is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. Every time we choose to trust God instead of giving in to fear, every time we step out in faith and do the thing that scares us, that faith muscle grows stronger. And as our faith grows, fear shrinks. It loses its power over us because we've tasted the victory that comes from walking with God. Think of the biblical heroes. David faced a giant, Esther confronted a king, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stared down a fiery furnace. Did they feel fear? Absolutely. But they chose to act in faith, trusting that God would see them through. And you know what? He did. He always does. So, what is God calling you to do that scares you? Is it to start a new business? To mend a broken relationship? To step out of your comfort zone and pursue a long-forgotten dream? Whatever it is, don't let fear hold you back. Take that first step of faith, knowing that God is right there with you, cheering you on every step of the way. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. It's choosing to trust God's plan over our own understanding, even when we don't have all the answers. And as we do, we'll discover that on the other side of fear lies victory, purpose, and the abundant life God has planned for us all along. So, the next time fear shows up, uninvited as always, remind it who's really in charge. Remind it that you serve a God who is bigger than any fear, any obstacle, any challenge. Remind it that you're not walking alone, that you've got the creator of the universe by your side. Peace beats panic every time. Choose faith over fear and watch God do amazing things in and through your life. You are stronger than you think, more loved than you know, and destined for greatness. Now go out there and live like it. Next time fear shows up, remind it, God's already in control. Peace beats panic every time. #fear, not #faith over fear. #God's got this. #walk. In faith, #trust His plan.